Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, October 7th. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and NQ. So the Bears accomplished something today after the Bulls failed this morning. We made all-time high in ES, SPY, SPX, triple Qs, NQ, composite. However, they couldn't get the overnight all-time highs from last night, or from this morning, really, when they made them. So, and then the sellers took over. There's a lot of chop in A period. And then sellers took over pretty aggressively for 2 hours. 4 time frames. They did some pretty good volume in those time frames. It was like an 8 million one in SPY, a 7 million. So they did some pretty good volume. But then that was it. 2 hours. Okay? And then we traded sideways the remainder of the day. Now they accomplished 2 things so far, the Bears. In ES and NQ. And, one in righty. They put the daily back to balance now. And we ended with an outside day down in ES and NQ. Righty never took out the all-time high from yesterday. Righty ends up with a double distribution day down, an afternoon rally high, and a 9-wide POC. I would call them a 3-day balance. Friday, Monday, Tuesday. NQ goes out with a double distribution day, a 9-wide POC, and an outside day down. ES, inside day up, absolute failure. Inside day down paid, but it paid for a time frame and a half. That's it. D&E. Once it took out yesterday's low. And then we traded sideways. However, they end with a double distribution day. They have 3 sets of singles. And Q has 2. And by the way, I forgot to mention, righty is a triple distribution day. Okay? They're a triple distribution. And we go out with a poor low in both ES and SPY. It's amazing how they rallied off that poor low. And they never could get it, even though we spent the whole afternoon not far from it. So the next step for the Bears, and we talked about this last week, will be to bring the daily down. So NQ is a 3-day balance. Friday, Monday, Tuesday. ES is a 4-day balance. I'm using Thursday's low. Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Okay? So Thursday's low and today's high, your balances in ES. So the first thing now, the next step, I should say, for the Bears, if you're a Bear, is to what? Take out Thursday's low in ES, Friday's low in NQ, today's low in righty, and bring the daily down. Remember we did that last week, and then we went what? We attempted to go for the weekly low. Remember that? We didn't miss it by much. We didn't miss it by much, but we never got it. We never got it. Okay? So that would be the next step. Our monthly low is also in the overnight in ES. But it's not, and NQ, but it's not as important to me as that overnight high. Now, if we had gotten those overnight highs and we put in some excess up there and then proceeded to do what we did today, I'd say, hey, maybe, right, little baby steps, things are attempting to change. But the fact that we still have the all-time high in the overnights still leads me to believe that we're going to go get them at some point. So our hump levels going into tomorrow, early on, are going to be pretty clear here. In ES's case, for the Bears, they want to defend value high. Because if you start getting higher value, very good odds they could take back this trend day. So Bears want to defend value high. The Bulls want to defend Thursday's low. They don't want to come out of balance to the downside. In NQ's case, it's value high. Okay? You can even use value high and half back for both of them that the bears want to defend. And the bulls want to defend Friday's low. Those are your two early hump levels before you get more MGI. Now, tomorrow you have a 10-year bond auction at 1, and you have the Fed minutes at 2. Now, I had a good day today. ES was very NQ was very choppy in A period. But I still had 3 longs, believe it or not, because of the value, and I really thought they had good odds of getting that overnight high, right? We had overlapping higher value in ES and NQ early on. So I was pretty surprised. But then, we talk about this a lot, the 80-20 came into play again. We opened above value, got into it in A and B, and we did get value low. So today it was successful. After A period, I did nothing but short. I shorted B to get A's low, and ebb and flow, I shorted C to get the IB low, and ebb and flow, shorted D to get the overnight low. And ebb and flow, shorted E because of the single prints, shorted F when we filled E single prints, and then my last trade was H against the 144, and that was it because this just turned into a lot of slop for me, and I wasn't interested in it. So the big question, if the outside day down turns to be fruitful for tomorrow, for me, that would mean what? You're going to defend that value high because value high is just barely above yesterday's low for the outside day down. And in NQ, look, value high is right at it for the most part, just above it. So I think for me, a lot of times these outside days up or down don't really get paid the next day. Well, if they don't get paid tomorrow for the bears, that's not going to be good because then not only is the outside day down could be a failure, but we could also take back this whole trend day. Okay? And then chart-wise, hope this helps the way I break it all down. We try to do it in baby steps, try to make it as simple as possible. I think simple is easier and better. So I hope it helps. And again, I'm still looking for a couple more people to sign up to Tradeify to get me over that hump, to get me paid so I could donate to St. Jude. So I'd appreciate it. So here is ES, 70.5 million. $1 million above average. So that's nothing. But it's a 4-day balance. 20-day right now is down at 663, so we're $6 above it. And then I'm going to show you NQ, for me, 3-day balance, right? I mean, it's really 4, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, but Friday's low, obviously. Okay? And right now, they're above by $8 above the 20. And in IWM, it's a 3-day balance, and they're above the 20 only by 2 and change. So, again, we'll see if anything more comes of today to put the daily down, and then we'll see if we can go after the weeklies. Again, last week's low, not that far away. We have 3 trading days to go. It's $8 away, $7.50 away. If the market ever decides to have some expansion in volume, it would not be hard to put the weekly back to balance. That goes for all of them. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel. Hope you had a good day trading. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.